Well, now, alright, we are back and live with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, your chief host of the show, and joining me as always is my co host, Avera.
Hello. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm having a fantastic Friday. It's great to be back, and well, I'm looking forward to the totally bonkers topics we got going on. So it's
I
gonna be
mean,
fun.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
be a good one. I'm hyped.
buckle up, we got quite a ride for you today. Yeah.
Indeed, it's I mean, from what little I've seen, it's something. All right, I'll just put it that way. It's something. Not to give any spoilers.
It just encapsulates the times we live in perfectly down to a T. I'll say that much. So, joining us today, we have Gil.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm just happy to be back. I always love being the Raider Rambles to talk some shit.
Yeah, right on, buddy. Great having you back.
As
Likewise.
always, feelings mutual. And today, why don't let's let's get started on the meat and potatoes of the stories of the week. Well, we're gonna start by following up on something we've talked about last week, and that is Furry Weekend Atlanta. How it was such a
Oh my
freaky
god.
cluster of everything that has gone wrong that represents the absolute state of furcons to this day.
Indeed, it
It's
does.
it's
Happened last
phen-
weekend.
it's phenomenal. I'll tell you that much. It's phenomenal how much has happened in just a goddamn weekend.
Yes. In fact, if you were to describe this with one picture of a collage of pictures, somebody you would say that this would be a perfect fit for a Grand Theft Auto cover.
Pretty much.
Could be.
Hey,
Oh
oh,
boy,
what
here
the
we go.
hell?
Yep. So
Oh,
this is
holy shit.
Yep, there's
Oh,
Bon Voyage from The Incredibles. Okay, with his prop gun. We'll talk about that in a bit.
then there's also the druggie that bit off a femboy's finger, and we got some boomer that tried to kidnap someone for owo owo. And the
Ah,
car that
yes,
got smashed into, and oh
We got
man, I
somebody
mean,
doing the spankings in such lewd attire in the lobby.
in the
hmm
lobby of all places, in the fucking lobby,
oh yes. He's wearing basically nothing. I'm assuming
And
it's
you
the
know,
heat.
lingerie.
and you know
Uh,
what's the most? And then we have somebody getting into some fisticuffs and emergency services being called in.
hmm
We
what the
have
hell?
an arsonist who set up the literal trash fire that represents Furry Weekend Atlanta,
You know,
and
go on.
last of all, the most ironic thing of all, for something being so furry, the only thing that's furry about this was that little illustration down there on the left side, and it actually represents the righteous people who passed around the message of Christ at Furry Weekend Atlanta.
Yes, that's right. The only wholesome thing on
Oh,
this whole damn thing. Now, here's the thing. Last week we kind of, I wouldn't say predicted the downfall of this, but literally almost like half the panels were not furry related, and in fact more sexually charged. I would say.
It's
yeah.
this point I have to ask the
Oh,
question: why is it that Free for All was considered a failure by some of the more extreme furries out there? Because
And
we didn't
depend.
have people shooting guns because the police didn't show up for, you know, being called up instead of coming in. People's fingers not getting cut off, fires weren't started, kidnapping.
oh man, free for all was great. We had zero, no problems, no police, no fire alarms were pulled,
Well,
no
technically,
freaking
the
threats,
police
nothing.
the
Yeah, the
wasn't it
police.
the police that rocked up anyway, but they were just
Yeah,
more, oh, hey, here's an event going on, let's go take a look,
yeah, that's
Uh,
versus,
right.
well,
yeah,
well,
can you
it
get
was
your asses over here immediately?
the police were already stationed there because it was a government building. So I think like the office, like the town's commerce office or something, was like above one of the main areas in the con center. So we already had police stationed there, and they were awesome. They were taking pictures
Yeah.
with us, escorting us, doing our parades and everything. It was fine. And again, no
But the
drugs, no hospitalizations, no violence. And then you look at, and of course, we didn't have panels that were, not furry related, like diaper changing 101
oh my god.
or how to be in a poly relationship. No, we didn't have any of that.
It
Okay.
and it's just it's baffling to me that sure they'll shit on FFA, but comes to Furry Week in Atlanta, how they shit show, and apparently to them, it's like the best thing is like the to the some puffers I would say is Furry Week in Atlanta is like the best thing in the world to them. So
Well,
it scares me to think. I mean, just what kind of standards they're holding themselves to.
so Furry
I
Week in Atlanta,
serious,
I believe it's not 18 plus. So imagine you're like, I don't
Oh
know,
my
like
god.
a 13-year-old kid, right? You go down to the lobby and then you see some dude getting spanked in lingerie. Like, okay, all right.
I seriously have to ask, what is it with the guy with the semi-automatic weapon?
Oh, the Bon
That
Voyage.
Yeah, he's one of the minor villains from The Incredibles. Yeah, I remember
Oh,
the Pixar movie. So he had like a machine gun, I think, and he threw bombs. Bomb voyage, and that's like the whole fun. I'm not sure why. Again, not furry related. That's a Pixar character, so it's more of a cosplay thing. I mean, he'd probably be better off at like Comic Con, but you
And
know.
you know what
well,
the best part is? The best part is the way how Atlanta, especially the furry cons over there, it
Mhm.
might as well be the same version of Left 4 Dead 2.
I have a Nerf blaster that looks similar to that kind of firearm. I mean, it's a bit more bright, but I would have considered that being more, preferable than a, fake gun or even a real one that's unloaded.
I mean, I don't see a problem with bringing prop guns to a con so long as they're props and they don't actually like fire crap. Like you're not going to bring a paintball gun to a fur con, right? Like you're not going to do that.
Or Airsoft.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not going to. But if it's like a toy or whatever, and it's part of like your character, makes sense, right? Like if you're a crusader, all right, bring a sword. Why the hell not, right? Or like a Jedi. Sure, lightsabers are cool.
Yeah, but watch them ban it as well too. At least at FWA.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of banning stuff, I think
Yes.
Anthrocon was one of the ones to start doing this. But recently, FWA came out with an announcement saying that they're no longer permitting any of those kind of props.
You heard them, folks. No toy guns allowed at FWA.
Nope.
What else are they banning?
Oh, so
Uh,
let's read the statement about what they've made the decision to ban. Let's have a read. So here's what they wrote on the official FWA Twitter.
all right. So,
Hey y'all, we have an announcement to make, and then the reaction to this is like people wearing they're saying
yep.
the ramifications of this are intense, especially when I was sent that the theme for next year's Furry Weekend Atlanta, should it happen, is future punk. And as for that sort of thing, it's as you would expect, quite a bit of you know prop gear involved, possibly. So
Well, there has been some controversy with tactical gear and like police furs and stuff like that. But
yes,
let's see how this affects
Oh,
moving
police
forward.
furs. That's
Yeah.
right. I
okay,
mean,
so
it's
that's
because
right.
all. The thing is, I mean, about the wokies is that woke people they hate cops, but they love criminals. So that goes to tell
Here's
you.
okay. So here's what they said about this stuff. Hey y'all, we've been hearing a lot of feedback about attendees wearing cosplay and carrying prop weapons that made attendees feel unsafe this year. We have historically allowed for a wide margin of creative freedom when it comes to cosplay at FWA, but it is absolutely critical that we balance that freedom with an atmosphere of safety for all. We didn't find the right balance this year, so we're making some changes for future events. 1. Although realistic looking weapons and military attire are already prohibited by our attendee policy, this language is somewhat unclear. We'll be clarifying and strengthening that language, including by providing specific examples of prohibited props and cosplay. 2. In the past, we have given guidance but have mostly relied on attendees to know about, understand, and follow this policy themselves. Going forward, we'll be increasing staffing and putting more systems in place to make sure that inappropriate items or cosplay are removed from convention spaces even if their owners don't know about their rules.
Oh my god.
We will be increasing the training of our staff and security vendors to ensure that they also understand the policy. This should help prevent items from being piece tagged incorrectly and ensure that our staff is prepared to address any inappropriate items.
Inappropriate items.
That's even worse. And here's the thing. In number 1, they still didn't clarify anything. They just said, well, it's a little unclear. We're going to fix that. And they didn't fix anything in this statement. They just said people felt uncomfortable with semi-realistic looking weapons.
But of course, a dude getting spanked at the lobby of all places.
Or cars getting broken into, the freaking drugs, the kidnapping.
Oh yeah, I mean that reminds me as well too. You know the boomer-looking dude with a weird button-up shirt of My Little Pony or some weird shit. What was it? Care Bears?
Mhm.
I don't know. It's fucked. It's fucked.
But when it comes to props, though, I think that the guy that reposted this had a pretty good point when he said a tactical type of fursuits are probably going to be prohibited completely. No more bulletproof vests because that looks intimidating. No more, fake guns or anything like that. Hell, even for Cyberpunk, I mean, people can, dress up their Nerf guns to look all futuristic and crap. Is that going to be banned too?
Oh, you bet it is.
Probably.
You already know.
His neon green plastic gun offends me. Ban it. It's inappropriate. Like,
do you mean just by slapping on some like paint and maybe a couple of LEDs on a Nerf blaster to make it look more iffy?
You already know.
Who knows? I mean, even something like that, which would be kind of cool for Cyberpunk, but nah, they're probably going to ban that too. Here's the thing: they just don't like fun.
Look, for me, fun. The idea of running around with a Nerf blaster at a FurCon would be, fun in shooting darts at them.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
That's the thing. Darts with an unmodified Nerf blaster ain't exactly going to do too much to you. Whereas running around with a prop gun and pointing it at people, it's a little...
All right, so then don't be the dick that does that. Brandish it appropriately.
To have it automatic and just start popping people with the foamies.
Oh, dude.
And when someone tells you to stop, you just walk away.
All right. I was at a New Year's furry convention, and we had this guy. I think his name was Ice or something, or like Ice Cube, whatever. And he had this ridiculous. It was like this, like, minigun type of thing, a Nerf gun, and we were blasting people all over the damn place. And it was like him and a couple of friends. I mean, I got involved too. We just had like a freaking Nerf battle like all weekend. It was great. By the end of the con, there was like 1,000 like little darts all over the lobby, the floor, the hallways, freaking everywhere. It was fun, man. But nobody was offended or upset or whatever. It's a freaking dart. But again, if you don't want to be involved, then they're not gonna, be a dick about it.
You'd probably love to get under my bed.
Oh no! What is that?
You got some Nerf guns? Hell yeah, man!
Yeah, I got a duffel bag full of the bastards.
Holy shit!
Hey, and that's one of the things that we had at FFA actually. Half of the game room was dedicated to like a Nerf battle area, which was freaking awesome. Oh man!
Bro's already ready for World War III.
Oh, it was great. We had like I think over like 50 or 65 different types of blasters. From like little handheld ones to like the electric crazy ones. But anyway, that stuff aside, no incidents happened at FFA. But now for Furry Weekend Atlanta, what exactly was the problem? Do you think it was that Bon Voyage guy that might have just been getting way too into character and kind of scaring people?
There's a probability about that.
Yeah, because I mean, I only saw a little bit of a picture of it, but his gun looked. I mean, it was all black. It looked kind of
realistic.
Yeah, but again, if I saw that, I mean, I'm not gonna like go report it to security and be all worried unless it was like an actual freaking weapon, which obviously wouldn't be.
Uh-huh. Jesus fucking Christ.
At least if you're going to walk around with a realistic-looking firearm, shove a yellow cork in the front of it so it at least appears fake.
That's also another very important thing, though, too, because if the tip is like a neon yellow or orange, that will usually indicate that the weapon should not fire too. It should be safe, but of course, there's some dumbass who would just be more than happy to fuck it up too.
Well, there are some state laws in America that specifically mention that, like any kind of toy gun has to have that on the front of it, like all of them. Even like airsoft or BB guns, they have to have some kind of an orange tip or something to make to differentiate it from being a real gun. Okay, fine, but you're not going to be even bringing those to a FurCon. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to have an airsoft, tournament or something. If it was regulated, but that's
I
beyond the point.
mean, the biggest problem is that if you're to have a FurCon airsoft match, then your fursuit better be good because that shit is gonna get ripped apart.
I was thinking more like target practice or shooting, cups or
I mean,
something.
could be that too. Could be that.
Are we still going to ignore the drug problem at FWA?
Yes, we should get into that. Unfortunately,
Oh
yeah,
my
there
God.
was an abundance of drugs at that convention. I mean, there always is at cons, but sometimes it gets particularly bad. Or like
Fucking
arrests are
junkies.
made. Like
I
arrests.
love Pride Australia, so the nationwide one. There was a person calling for no police to attend the event just so people felt safe taking drugs, and I'm like,
My brother in
okay.
Christ. I mean, if that ever happens, I mean, I just hope they die of an overdose. I just hope nobody helps them. Or not that anybody helps them. I mean, they just don't know how to help them, because holy fucking shit.
I'm just not sure even what kind of enforcement policies they had at this convention. Because on the one hand, it seems like they're being very strict about stuff. On the other hand, you got people getting, spanked in the lobby.
Yeah,
Like,
right in,
what's going on here?
right in the open space in there.
Fucking
and so
junkies.
forth.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's insane. But that's not the crazy thing. Of course, there's another thing that I would be remiss that needs to be addressed in Furry Weekend Atlanta.
And is this the only good, wholesome thing that happened?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, it is. The only good wholesome thing that happened was that the message of Christ has been passed around with little cards in convention space.
Yep.
And furries being what they are, they can imagine the reaction that followed.
Oh Lord.
The message says, "Do you believe you will enter heaven if you were to pass away today? You may know young friends or family members whose lives were cut short, suddenly reminding you that though the days seem long, life is short. So maybe you'll start to remember some bad deeds you did, whether you said something you shouldn't have said to someone, 1 Corinthians 6:10, or lose your temper, Proverbs 25:28. Our bad deeds will haunt us one day, and no good deed erases the bad ones, just as a thief cannot evade prison by donating to an orphanage. But fear not! One man has paid the price for all our sins with his own blood, giving everyone who has full faith in him forgiveness of their sins. So all who believe in him shall enter heaven." John 10:28, Romans 6:10. This man was Jesus Christ.
Indeed.
Get to know him today. All it takes is a few minutes to read the Bible. Start with Luke and John first. You only need to read the New Testament and 2 links to QR codes on either side. That is it.
And this is pretty great. It's just a wholesome, random thing. Okay. I mean, if conventions are supposed to be open to everyone, what's wrong with this? I mean, if they have, their pride freaking flags all over the damn place, shoving that down your throat, might as well.
Vera, I'd personally love to see a Catholic version of this.
You will burn in hell!
I mean,
you degenerate!
You just know they're gonna try to ban it too. I'm pretty sure of it.
Well, this is okay, but the other religion, the rainbow cultists, that's fine. I mean, they have entire panels about that. Yeah, polyamory, whatever. Coming out as trans in the community, like all this stupid crap. which
Of
is not furry
course.
related.
Of course, of course. I mean, they're just being themselves, you know. You just gotta be openly accepted about their fucking degeneracy, aren't don't you?
Yeah, well, you
So
know what? We have some
something I
wholesome
wanted to
Christians too.
something I wanted to ask though: is there an actual furry church, brick and mortar one yet, or is there just like one or two online ones?
I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if there might be more to it.
Well, I think there is a separation, between that. Obviously, I know some Christian furs. One of which is actually a reverend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Of course, my other friend, he tried to run an online church as well. But
I think I
it,
know
it
which reverend you're talking about.
yeah, you
We
probably
talk a
know.
lot of shit.
But but he also does separate that, and like his career, like in religion, from furry. So I get that. I don't think I would want to bring my religion into the fandom. Like, I don't know, maybe.
I mean,
Guys,
there's a
Everyone should know
time
about Jesus, but I'm not gonna be like a Bible thumper, going to
there's
Ocon or whatever.
there's always a time and place, you know, and there's certain people for that too.
Right, because the whole idea of being a furry is, you have to escape from the real world, right? So we can become a different character and just be in this fantasy experience.
Even the same could be said about Christianity too.
Hmm.
Wouldn't you agree?
Well, there's a lot of Christian furs out there, there are, and some of us, when we see this gay pride or other kind of degenerate stuff going on, like in public, you kind of take a second look at what's going on.
You
And
mean
of
like the
course,
school thing?
yeah, the school thing. I
Yeah,
mean, the school
yeah.
thing would just thump all their atheist slop around.
Well, if I'm going to go to a convention where half of the panels are about, sexuality and degenerate stuff, and every other room party is just full of drugs, and man, I don't know. It's starting to become a little bit not so fun
And
anymore.
speaking of drugs, did you know that there was some druggy zombie that bit off someone's finger off?
Oh my
yes,
God! Wait,
I
did
heard
this
about
happen at the
that.
Yes.
convention?
Yes, it
Would you
happened
have
at
anything on
FWA.
that?
You haven't heard
Yes,
about that, did you?
That was
Some
at FWA.
Yep,
yes,
some
yes.
What
goddamn
the?
some goddamn crackhead zombie bit off someone's finger.
And the guy who got his finger bit had been hospitalized.
Oh my goodness! I did not hear about that.
And you know what the best part
Wow.
is? They were
There's a good part.
they were hospitalized in their own femboy outfit too.
Well, I'm sure they didn't have time to change before they were
And in
bleeding out.
fact,
Well, yeah.
in fact, he even was seemed to be proud. Like he put hashtag FWA and hashtag Femboy when posting on social media that this happened to him.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Do you have anything to show us regarding that? Because I'm
Yeah, I'm kind of curious
curious.
now. Like, was there? I'm sure
Yes,
there's
I
pictures of like
remember.
the
Fucking
ambulance.
hell.
I remember. It
All right, give me a
happened.
sec.
I know. Like if I can
Ah,
find, if
Well,
I
well,
find,
it's
if
on
I
Twitter,
dig it
right?
up.
Oh my
Yes, it is.
goodness
It is on
gracious!
Twitter. I seen the post. It's
Now,
it
for the
is.
record,
fucking
nothing
hell.
similar to that ever happened at FFA. I'm just saying,
No.
we didn't see any of those problems.
I mean,
What the?
the thing is it doesn't happen after FWA because we're all right wing Nazis, we're Trump
No,
supporters, this and
Nah,
that and
this is just a
whatnot.
crackhead.
the thing that really got me though is that it was people who were attacking Free for All that were causing all the drama.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, so what? It was basically wide open spaces and very few people. What do you expect out of a con that basically got shit canned by the community online? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, we tried our best, and you know what? The people that showed up had a really good time.
Yeah, and then you had that degenerate that thought it'd be a fantastic idea to dox and harass some kid that
Oh
attended.
my god.
Yeah,
Seriously,
yeah.
Please.
What the hell was that about?
Leave the
Crazy.
kid
Yes.
alone. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Oh,
Yes.
by the way, yeah, I've
we
already
found
sent
it.
I've
Ah,
already,
sweet.
yeah, I've sent it, to everyone
Thank
here
you.
in the everyone here. So
I got you covered, Joe. I got you covered. Thanks for sending it to
look,
me.
just
Here it
look at this
is.
shit. Just look at this shit.
Oh, look at his little stockings. Isn't that cute? Or his
Yeah, it
knee-high
is.
socks.
Yeah, but the problem is, that he got attacked by a literal zombie,
Let's
and
see.
unfortunately, his finger cannot be attached because some crackhead decided to chew it off.
Okay, let's see what it says here. So last night, around 2 o'clock in the morning, there was an incident involving another person, which that person was having a bad reaction to drugs he took. Shocker. That
Fucking
person
zombie.
bit off my finger, and I can't. Oh, and I can use any help possible for my medical bills. Another night at a hotel. FWA is going great. Somebody bit off my fucking finger.
Hashtag
Wow.
community,
And then
hashtag
all the
fanboy, hashtag FWA
hashtags.
2024, hashtag GoFundMe, hashtag furry.
Yeah.
Okay, so he can. Oh, I love how he's in the hospital, like in the little skirt and everything. Oh, jeez. But okay, I just want to know how did this happen? Like, did he grab his hand and just like bite his finger? Like Gollum did to Frodo,
Yeah,
or
pretty
what
much.
happened here?
I mean, you gotta ask the guy. I mean, he was there, not me.
But his finger can't be reattached, as
Of
far as
course it
I can
can't.
tell.
Of course it can't, because some
Oh
goddamn
my
zombie chewed it off.
god. This is one of the more crazy things I've heard about happening at a convention. Someone's finger was bitten off. What the what?
Okay, so I've heard of people losing like personal items, stuff being stolen, but this is the
Yeah.
first time I've heard actual body parts being detached.
Yeah, I lost my finger. Where to go? Down that guy's throat. I don't know.
Could you imagine how embarrassing it's going to be for this guy in the future to turn around and explain what happened to his hand? Yes, some druggie at a furcon chewed it off.
I'm hoping that they can at least find his finger and reattach it somehow, but it doesn't
It
seem like
can't
that.
be. It can't be reattached.
Well, it can be if they find it in time and they can connect the blood vessels, but it seems like that's not going to be happening, and he's just out a finger on his right hand too. Fuck.
Yeah. All thanks to some goddamn fiend.
That is bonkers.
Well,
Wow.
that wraps up the absolute show that is Free Weekend Atlanta. And yes, you're damn right. It really does feel like a GTA montage is the image that basically encapsulates what went down.
Yeah,
This
and then you
this
have
doesn't top the money laundering thing for me. I'm sorry, but this does not top the money laundering thing.
well,
What's even worse is that it encapsulates exactly a lot of the first stereotypes at FWA. It just can't be. I mean, you try to tell people don't be mean to furries, but yet furries do this kind of shit. So I mean, what the fuck can you do?
I'm just wondering who the guy was that bit his finger off. Was he also a furry, or is he just some crackhead off the street that wandered into the hotel?
Probably.
I got to know some
I
context here.
at 2 o'clock, I don't think some junkie is going to show up at 2 o'clock. It's got to be somebody, a con attendee who hit.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Who got on the drugs and.
Yeah, I'm thinking he probably came out of a room party after doing whatever the hell he was doing, and he's like, you look tasty," and just started eating people.
I'm highly curious about what our next topic is.
Yes, there has
let's
been
get
a
to
couple
that.
of new releases that I will talk about that have gone down that have got a head scratching.
Is it
Like,
the Assassin's Creed, right? More Ubi slop.
I was going to guess a cyborg in like World War II, but whatever.
yes, you are correct.
Cyborg in World War II. I think you mean Wolfenstein.
Assassin's Creed Shadows that has premiered not so long ago, actually, just a few days ago. And it's not just us who's scratching our heads, but other gamers too, and also for Japanese themselves, because Assassin's Creed Shadows is a game that is set in historical Japan.
Feudal Japan, to be more
Correct.
precise.
This is where I have to add this. Not only has the Egyptians been pissed off by modern media, but now the Japanese.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I remember. The Egyptians got pissed off at the Cleopatra thing. Now, the Japanese are puzzled about this thing.
So if you're Japanese, prepare to die inside.
And yes, and what we have here is a ninja who is not Japanese yet adopted a Japanese name.
It's
a ninja who is African.
It's
It,
one of those American samurais.
is this one of the? Did they at least try to put in a good story to explain like how he came to be instead of
I
just
mean,
like there?
apparently, this ninja called Yasuke is must have been a historical footnote. That's the justification they were going for.
I
Somebody who
believe
was
this is based on a true story.
It better have some good like backing to
right,
that. 'Cause
right.
But
Jesus Christ.
historical wise, it's not like the time period doesn't add up.
But then again, I mean, what do you expect? It's Ubi slop.
Well, let's see what the article says here.
Let's take a
The
look
new
here.
trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows has dropped, and this time it is set in feudal Japan. Okay, so the Edo period. But some Japanese gamers are puzzled that it includes Yasuke. So yes, Yasuke is a known character, but Yasuke is an actual historical figure that lived in Japan during the 16th century and was most likely of African origin. He would have also been around during the same time period the game was set. Okay, so they are doing it historically, at least in the area. However, almost nothing is really known about Yasuke, which in part means he's a great narrative blank slate to work with. But isn't also without its pitfalls. You see, gamers have been waiting for Assassin's Creed to come to Japan for years now. It's the land of the ninjas, the epitome of stealth. So it has always been a perfect fit for a gaming series built around stealthy assassinations and an interesting historical context.
Right.
So yes, there was this one guy, one person likely of African descent who lived in Japan. But was he a samurai? No. They're saying it's a blank slate to work with. He's like the one
A
black guy
blank
in all of Japan that they can make a game about
I
and
don't
totally
believe
butcher history.
I don't believe the person who wrote this article bothered researching the actual individual because there are a number of detailed descriptions of this individual, how people reacted when they saw him. Basically, they referred to him as basically being Inkman or something,
Yeah,
and some of the things he got up to.
Okay.
So this person's talking out of their ass, for starters, and second, you'd be better off creating your own character and having something like rocking up as a baby from a ship or something, or a slave that got sold to some Japanese person that then became like a samurai or something.
There's like a lot of stories that could make up to it too. And speaking of stories, I mean, I was about to say too, is that the character kind of looks like a Call of Duty campaign character modded into another game.
You'd probably be better off turning around and having him actually raise up to become a ninja, for crying out loud. That would be more realistic.
It would be.
The problem is the only reason this whole thing exists is because of DEI, right? They're just trying to click off diversity boxes. If they were to just make Assassin's Creed and have an origin story of some random ninja that became, a hero or something, that'd be fine. But the fact that they had to make him a different color just to appease some kind of diversity quota, that's where you lost me.
I mean, the thing is, Xavier, is that a lot of companies are doing this kind of stuff for those BlackRock bucks, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but don't they realize that they're losing money? I mean, people don't want this. Like, they know it's bonkers. They know it's totally ridiculous. Like, man, just if you're gonna make a Assassin's Creed and have it like be set in Edo, Japan, have a Japanese ninja. I mean,
The thing
right?
is,
Or
and
a
this is
samurai or something. I mean,
for the
come
whole
on.
DEI thing, in the 80s and 90s with TV shows, they generally hit the nail on the coffin for it. Well, they did it properly. So, for instance, Scutsy and Hutch?
Mm-hmm. Give me a sec.
Stargate, for instance, how they decided to, we have to throw in a black character. So they at least put an effort to make a damn good storyline. They picked a really good actor for it too. But still, I mean, in today's thing, doing it like this, you literally, one, have confused a nation that played it, or people in it, and some of them not that happy about it. So,
Especially if you're in Japan, I mean, and you know the history of like this Yasuki guy. Okay, he was a foreigner that came to medieval Japan. He was a different color, and he was like an oddity. to the mostly ethno-homogenous nation at
mean,
the time. Okay, fine.
even
But do you have to like use his reference or his likeness for this game? Obviously, yeah, like you said, Noble, the guy did not do his research because he didn't even know what he was.
hell, I mean, even blue eyes to Japanese is something alien too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
The
and
thing
also,
is,
white people have larger noses than those in Japan. And I
Oy
remember
vey.
reading Sadako in the Thousand Paper Cranes when someone was making fun of her slanted eyes, and she called a white guy big nose because yeah.
problem is, and
So
this is the part I'd like, how this individual was referred to would be considered as racist in today's standards.
Oh yeah, it
Today's
would.
Western standards.
Ink Man, right?
Nah,
What
the thing is, is that don't underestimate the Japanese. They can be so creative with shit you least expect.
Look at
Oh, yeah.
anime for crying out
I
loud
was
for that
just gonna
concept.
mention anime. Yeah, totally.
I mean, the chances are, like even if gets popular the wrong way and way they expect, there could probably be some sort of very interesting backlash about it too.
That it gets banned in Japan.
No,
It,
I just think that the
um,
Japanese market is not going to go for it. Like they're not as woke as Western civilization,
what
so
what I'm
they're going to
trying
look at this and be like, "What the what?"
what I'm trying to say is that even if it doesn't get banned, you already know the Japanese are gonna molest it, the idea with your creativity somehow, and it's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Mm.
Oh, you know it's coming. You already know it's coming.
Well, I imagine just a lot of Japanese are not going to want to buy it. It's just like what Noble was saying earlier about how Egypt was offended by Cleopatra. Like, didn't like the prime minister try to sue
Yeah,
the company?
the minister
Yeah.
of the minister of
Yeah,
cultural
something
affairs,
like that, right?
tourism, and all that.
Crazy.
I got a question though for all those people who want to turn around and have diversity in mood. Why not just do one in the Middle East, or has they already done that?
You can already get away with some of these things. If the game you're playing has create your own character, much like Fallout per se. Well, even Skyrim too.
The other thing I want to ask is, what would be so wrong with doing an Assassin's Creed game in Africa? Pick an African kingdom, hire
yeah.
someone who knows about the historical nature of it,
Yes.
and then say, look, we want to do an Assassin's Creed game based there. Any historian would love to do that. Unless, of course, you think the African nation is not worth your time, effort, or energy.
That is a very good point.
Well,
They
instead
do
of
that with
that,
Egypt.
now
Look,
what they're doing is
Yeah,
they're pretty much
they-
hijacking things that have already existed historically and then trying to make them more, quote unquote diverse when they don't need to be. History is extremely rich. There's a bunch of different storylines you can go down. And hell, if you want to go down that progressive route or whatever, hell, you can have a game set in like South Africa where you're part of like the Zulu tribe, fighting against the colonialists or whatever. Like that'd be freaking interesting.
That's
I don't
a
know.
little too common. I was thinking something more obscure, like more in the wait. Was the Zulu tribe South Africa or North Africa?
Yeah, South Africa.
By the way,
Try something in the more northern areas.
Okay. How about this? The journey of Mansa Musa. You know what that is? His pilgrimage to Mecca when he went from Morocco all the way to Saudi Arabia, giving away gold during his time. All the stuff he got into.
Oh yeah, he caused the crushing price of gold.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did indeed.
But no, seriously, any of these game companies, they want to turn around and quote unquote diversify shit. Fine, you pick an African country, find mythology or religion or whatever, and just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
by then it would make way more sense.
Or they can even go like the mythological route. Let's say you're a warrior in the nation of like Timbuktu, and there's like a spirit monster attacking the city, and you have to like try to find ways to destroy him. But it has acolytes and like cults that worship the monster, and they're trying to bring about the end of the kingdom and shit. I don't know.
There is an
You
active
can get totally
example
crazy with it.
that shows how this was done correctly, and that was with the Stargate television show, the SG-1 franchise.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
remember.
You had a research. I think it was one. It might have been more people who would go through and they would study ancient Egypt, and they would find something and be like, "Oh, this would be excellent," and they make an episode about it, or they add it as a character for the show.
Pretty
That was
much.
great. But that ideal has seemed to have basically been completely abandoned for, show and tell of stuff that just seems to piss people off. Anyway, we should probably move on to the next subject now.
Agreed.
Kind of went on a tangent there, but hey, you know what?
Yeah,
That's all
but I
good.
mean, the fact of the matter was, they just to close out this whole segment, they did want there was actually a prototype script for a story of an Assassin's Creed set in feudal Japan, but that got scrapped for what we see today. So yeah,
Like the Emoji Movie.
Goes to show, you be slop.
So I suppose you can take that for what you will, but that's pretty much what we've got today. And I guess this would be a perfectly good segue, since we're talking about popular media and stuff, to go through some of the other related topics that have been relevant as of late.
Oh Lord.
So
Can't
you
wait to
guys
see.
are aware of the whole Doctor Who thing, right?
Oh, I know.
Indeed, yes. Doctor Who, the endless spiraling down into the abyss
The
that we've
Doctor
been
Shoe,
watching
you
for the
mean?
last 10 years or so. Mm-hmm.
How deep does the abyss go? Find out with Doctor Who.
I would say into the singularity. Being all scientific there. But no, it actually does go pretty deep.
So
No.
here's the thing, though. The what's happened is that the director has actually said to people, has been known to saying to people that if you, then if this is the thing I don't, then this is not for you, and maybe don't watch it. And as you would expect, if you're dealing with people like these, you're going to want to take their statements at face value. So
Mhm.
people ended up taking his advice.
Well, this is the same. This is the same mistake that all these, high-paid actors, directors, and producers always do. Whenever they create some woke, lefty garbage with all their political agendas, and normal people respond negatively to it, it's like they're the problem. Well, this isn't made for you. It's like, yes, it was originally. Like, it's supposed to. Like, do you not want my money? Okay, fine. Get woke, go broke then.
Please tell me, Joel.
Yes.
Do you have anything to show on screen for this?
Here we go. Here I've got something for you.
Oh boy, let's see.
So, of course, the director's got his words taken for Thingo. Taken for verbatim,
Oh my god.
Doctor Who actor Nkudi Gatwa, not director, says, "Don't watch, turn off the TV."
Okay,
Agreed.
fine. Take that at face value.
What a brilliant idea. Let's do it.
I have to wonder if the show's not going to get renewed for the following season.
But then again, who gives a shit?
Dude,
right?
just imagine being an actor for a very high-profile franchise like Doctor Who, and then you tell people, "Oh, well, turn off your TV and don't watch me." It's like, bro,
Hey, Vera.
you're the fucking actor. Like, you
Yeah.
should be telling people, "Hey, check this show out. Watch us. That's why I'm being paid to be an actor here." I mean, he's doing the total opposite. Like, what the fuck?
But
Does that make any sense?
You remember as well too, what the whole Star Wars back in the day, that when Disney took over Star Wars, that they said that Star Wars wasn't for the original fans. It was for their niche, their I don't know what the fuck it was the best term to say it. Their selective audience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
niche. You're right.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
like
word for it.
the Force is female. Like what? Ah.
And they're doing and they're doing the exact same thing with the Doctor Who show.
I just can't imagine being a high-paid actor on a franchise like this and telling my audience, "It's not for you. Don't watch me." Like, what?
The biggest problem's going to be is that if the show ends up ending with this season or the next season, and this actor is the one that sort of is at the end of it, he's going to have a hard time with work because a few places are going to look at him and go like, "Ooh, Doctor Who didn't go so well. Like, Doctor Who got cancelled with this guy sort of like as its figurehead. Do we really want to put him on?"
They're losing money.
Well, then again, he is gay and black, so I'm sure that they're obligated to bring him on to whatever project they have
And
envisioned.
yeah,
And of
and of
course, I
course, like
mean,
the results were as you'd predict. Like once you took his advice at face value, Doctor Who's
oh my,
ratings plummet after.
oh.
Yes,
Oh, here we go. So this is yeah, Doctor Who ratings plummet after he told viewers to not watch it. Yeah, no crap. And now we have the villain of this show, who is this creature.
Thing.
yes,
It's it's the Pokemon evolution of a why not.
Oh,
I do know, and do you know what the best part is too? I mean, you can definitely tell that those BlackRock investments are really paying off, aren't they?
yes, that's right.
thing is, man,
They're
Doctor
trying,
Who has
yeah, they're
been
trying
part
to.
of British culture for decades. I mean, since what, like the 60s or earlier?
I think it was earlier.
Yeah, probably decades, right? It's always been a relatable British guy. Then they went to
British.
Jodie, and then they went to this guy.
1963, actually.
Wow, 63. Okay, so that's 51 years? No, 61 years. Oh my god. Yeah,
Makes you feel old,
61
doesn't it?
years. That is nuts. This is like an insult to British culture, I would say. The fact that they're trying to change everything so much and telling you that like you might have been a big fan of the show, but if you don't like what we're doing, fuck off.
I mean,
That's the impression I get.
and it's not the only insult too.
Oh yeah, well the writing, the everything.
Yeah, some of the shit I would expect to even see in a Babylon B article. Instead, no, it's the real fucking thing.
Yeah, right? It's like we live in a Babylon B timeline right now. Everything's backwards. Ugh, everything.
Well, then there was one thing we have to do. We have to ask the Babylon B or even the Onion is like, what the fuck happened to our timeline? I mean, how the hell do you guys start to predict the future?
No, you know what? I would actually ask the real Doctor Who to bring me back to a different timeline where shit was normal.
If we
Rather that.
if that is even still an option too. You can't even don't even know anymore. What the fuck is even up to it, huh? What do you say,
So,
Jolt?
What's happening here reminds me of a recent TV show called, oh, what was it? It was one of those DC ones, Legends of Tomorrow,
okay.
Oh my
where
god.
they initially started the show where they were securing the timeline, and then they started trying to meddle with it
Ooh,
because it's their ideals were better, and it's like, well, you have to start somewhere. The show basically sort of ended, which is depressing because the first few seasons were good, but
You know,
Doctor Who, just the way they've been going about it, Bad
just
Wolf.
this one season alone with this new Doctor, do you think it's going to progress past one season? Probably
I
not.
would, I would really hope that the BBC decide that either this season or the following season is shit canned because there's just
it's gonna progress to a one big punchline. I guarantee you that.
at this point, you'd be better off just doing like TikTok shorts or something.
Yeah, seriously.
That's an idea.
Agreed. I guess even BlackRock could get better investment returns off TikTok. And that actually might be true.
Well, as you know, you'd probably know they're just trying to invest in every single thing that's just to try and influence the
Oh
message.
god. You
The
know,
message.
the thing is, that influencers themselves are pretty goddamn cringe, but BlackRock takes it a step beyond.
Yeah, they have all these billions of dollars to play with, and then look at what happens.
I mean, you sort of wonder as well too, like what is the bottom line of it all? I mean, what the fuck is the reason for all this shit?
You need to ask James Cameron and borrow his sub.
I would rather ask God. I think
That's a
God
good
knows
point.
more. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, there's gotta be a reason for all this shit to happen. A reason how this was even allowed to happen in the first place. Wouldn't you say, Jolt?
Yes, yes.
Like I said, man, downward spiral into the abyss, never to
And
return.
and hey, I mean, at least we can make ourselves some popcorn and watch it all just
Ah,
well,
yes, watch it all burn.
and of
Nice.
course, I mean, and this is just my dark sense of humor, and watch it fall harder than the 9/11 jumpers.
Ouch.
Yeah. See, I mean, I told my sense of humor is pretty fucking dark.
Yeah, well,
And even you're laughing too.
yeah, because I'm just thinking about that splattering noise they made when they crashed into the ground. Yeah, hilarious.
Ah, yes. Trauma.
Oh my good golly goodness. Okay. Do we have any other topics to delve into? Because Joel,
I
remember
mean,
there was that one thing I wanted to talk about. Do you have
yes,
a
I
few
know you
minutes?
wanted to talk about the some furry things that have happened. Like that's actually quite alright and good this time.
Oh,
A furry
groovy.
cruise.
No missing limbs, I'm assuming.
No,
No.
probably like red mist or paste. More like
Hey,
pudding.
Live Leak, my favorite.
Boy, yeah, you should watch Chaotic. That's a crazy website too.
Chaotic. Oh
Anyways,
my god.
in other furry news, there's something going on which I just found this out about a few days ago. So a furry cruise is happening called a historic
Yeah,
steamship, a trip for the fandom. So this is actually pretty damn cool. This ship here is let's read the article.
Steamboat Willie.
I mean, it's the only steamboat made entirely of wood that still exists. So there's something endearingly Seattle
yes.
about a steamboat cruise for furries. Um, so this is the first furry-centric voyage and fundraiser for the SS Virginia 5, the last surviving vessel in the Mosquito fleet and the only wooden-hulled propeller-driven passenger steamship in the United States. The Virginia 5 senior docent and historian Ed Brown said, "The ship is a living museum exhibit available for parties and events of all descriptions." All right, so that's cool. Basically, this is a really old wooden hulled boat, the only one left in the United States, actually, and there's going to be a bunch of furries renting it out for a cruise for a fundraiser. So, okay.
Yeah. To keep probably to keep the ship
Yeah,
the
yeah, super
historical
cool.
value of the ship, you know.
Oh, awesome. All right,
Makes
so
all this
let's
nice.
so quote the besides the fact that some of the attendees will be wearing animal costumes, it's really not that different from anything else the ship does, Brown said. Really? Wait a minute,
Uh
really?
huh.
It's not that different? So you've had a bunch of furries on your 150-year-old ship? Okay.
Well, furries have
Anyway,
been a thing for a long time,
Yes.
and not just
have they
more
been
in
on the
recent
ship
history.
before?
But yes, but first on ships has been a thing, of course. We know well about the whole furry cruise thing, where there are fursuiters who go on these cruises on holidays and bring their fursuits and what have you.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, they
So
and they partner directly with the Norwegian cruise line.
yep. So
For,
this isn't totally unheard of, but I think this is the first time where it's like an actual like historical museum that is totally rented out like just to the furries to
and
to
yeah,
make this fundraising event, which is super awesome. Now, Anthrocon, I think the article did mention something about Anthrocon,
that's
but
right because you guys do in Pittsburgh they do the river cruises in
yep,
Anthrocon.
they have like the ferries and stuff that go like under the bridges and stuff. Yes, some of my buddies have done that.
but tell me something though. It's
Yeah.
the last steamboat, right?
Yep.
So what's next? The other steamboats they're gonna build's gonna be all electric powered.
Well, I mean, this is a really old one. It was one of the
Yeah,
ones that was made of wood. I think it was called like the mosquito fleet or battalion or whatever it was.
It works. If it works,
yeah,
it
Yeah, yeah,
works.
it's still in the water. It's still floating, and there's some ships like that now, like decommissioned that are not like in military service anymore or whatever, but they became like museums. You know, people can like explore them, and this is a really cool idea. I'm hoping that they get a bunch of people to be involved in this. I mean, hell, I would like to go. Right?
Hey, I
I mean, it
mean,
looks pretty cool.
as long as it doesn't go take the FWA route.
Right, right. Yeah, we don't want no degeneracy. I think it's run mostly by people that appreciate history and just want to be furries and silly animals on the water.
But but of course, I mean, there's not to deny the fact that there still might be some well, some of those types and whatnot too. Hell,
Right, right. But
imagine. Of course, you're going to boat and you went head back. I mean, there's someone missing because they overdosed on drugs and drowned at the bottom of the lake,
well,
river.
I'm
a
not I'm
bit of
not
a,
I'm
that's
not
a
thinking
bit
about that. I mean,
extreme.
I'm thinking more about just the whole event itself. Hopefully going well.
Yeah,
But
I mean but yeah, I
seems
mean,
like it could.
I hope it does. It goes pretty well too. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
but just
looks
it's just
fun.
my biggest fear is just always going to be some moron who's going to fuck it up.
Well, don't overdose on drugs and
Yeah,
Don't
just
do
don't no,
drugs in
don't
general.
be a dick.
don't bring
I
them
don't
in.
know.
Yeah,
Don't
don't bring
get too
any drugs
drunk
in
and
the first
fall
place.
over. I don't know.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, it's like we were saying. Don't bring drugs in the first place. Don't.
Exactly.
Seek God. Fucking hell, just seek God instead. It's way better.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
this furry cruise event actually, it's something that I would like to go to. Not sure if I can, but
In
I
I
fact,
mean,
seriously would have liked to have seen a picture where someone had Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse, and yeah,
oh my
what the
goodness,
hell,
I'm
that
sure
would have been
someone's
a
gonna do
kicker.
it.
now
Right?
that
I'm sure someone's gonna freaking do it, right?
I have seen so many pictures of Steamboat Willie. It's phenomenal.
Hey, it's public domain, man.
Yep. The
Mhm.
wonders of public domain and the human imagination.
All right.
All right, so that is what we've got for the week.
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
well, a couple of interesting things have happened indeed. So, who'd like to close this out with a quick closing statement?
Ooh, I got one. I seriously can't wait to find out if it's going to be a gaming company or a media company, for TV shows or movies that turns around and seriously pisses off a foreign nation,
Oh
like
my
with Assassin's
god.
Creed and Cleopatra, because that's just golden. Please, I want to see another country pissed off at the Americans because
Hey, I
damn,
mean,
this is easy. The Furcon. What's going to be next? Is someone actually going to die at a Furcon? The next
it, w-
FWA, you're going to have like people just like keeling over from doing something stupid.
Remember,
it's not.
if it's not the drugs that get you down, it's the people that that it's the long overdue effects of taking the COVID vaccines that will
Yeah,
never
blood
forget
club.
that.
I'm
You
surprised no
know,
one has done that.
AstraZeneca.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
the chances of people dying is, I mean, at these type of FWA Furcons is pretty high.
Anyways,
don't forget,
Noble?
we at least we had something to end it with on a positive note.
Agreed.
Yay.
That's right. All right,
Gil, do you want to be
Gil?
next?
Of course I do. Holy fucking shit! At FWA, like people, they're going to a goddamn Furcon. They're not going to Left 4 Dead, where like even a goddamn zombie is gonna chew their fingers off, right? Or like even being kidnapped by some boomer-looking pedophile dude. And another thing is, it's I mean, on top of what Noble said, sure. I mean, on the on the woke games, I mean, it would be more successful, I guess, if it was be more of a troll move because I mean, UB slop, diversity slop. Jesus fucking Christ! Like, I mean, their stocks, their stocks are screaming, and they're falling, pretty goddamn hard.
I thought it was
And
screaming wee as they go down.
yeah, go down like a roller coaster. And the best part is how hilarious it is too. We get to sit here in the comfort of our own homes, just watch them release slop after slop, and we're just sitting home, not even spending a single fucking dime on it, while it just goes down, and we fill our bellies with a nice, warm popcorn.
All right.
And what about you, Vera?
Well, I gotta say, overall, Japan is pretty based. They're not gonna be taking this woke crap. All right, they're looking at this and being like, "Nah, man, this is not the market for that kind of nonsense." So that's pretty cool. When it comes to FWA, I will say that banning problematic props is not going to save them. They already
Indeed.
seem like they're way too deep into that degenerate hole, considering everything that happened. I will say though, thank goodness there were at least some good Samaritans, some Christian furs who were trying to save them. Because to be
Yeah.
honest, y'all need Jesus. that's,
Yeah.
that's all I gotta say, man.
They went to a goddamn FurCon, not Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, or some
Wait,
like
what was that zombie? What was that doomsday sort of furcon? Was it
For apocalypse.
apocalyptic? Yeah, for apocalypse.
yes, that was there.
Hey, would you recommend it to though? Would you recommend
No,
it?
I wouldn't. I would not. It's become kind of like free for all. Sorry, FWA. I always
Hey,
mix up those two. FFA, FWA. Oh, fuck me. No,
it's a letter difference, yeah.
exactly. Free for all is the good one. All right, that's fine. FWA, yeah. Furpock, man, it's it's starting to get pretty bad. So I'm just gonna leave it there.
All right.
All right, Jolt.
Thank you all for tuning in and enjoying, and I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did making this show.
As we look forward to see the next one.
Indeed. And as always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Better FM, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more further down the line. As always, we look forward to bringing you the craziest stuff that happens week by week. World we live in. And from all of us to you, this is farewell for now. Until next time.
And until then.
Bye.
Later, guys.